Daniel Whitmore was already halfway down the gravel path when the wheelchair wheel struck a loose stone and jolted sharply. He tightened his grip instantly, heart skipping, afraid Lily might have been hurt. She wasn't. She never reacted. She never did. She simply stared ahead, small hands folded in her lap, eyes distant, as if she had learned long ago not to expect the world to be gentle. Every Sunday morning, without fail, Daniel pushed Lily through Oak Ridge Greenway. It was his routine, his promise to himself. The city still slept at that hour, the trees whispering softly in the breeze, joggers few and far between. Daniel liked it that way. Quiet made it easier not to think too much, not to ask questions. Daniel Whitmore was a billionaire investment strategist, a man used to controlling markets, closing impossible deals, and solving problems with numbers and logic. But none of that mattered here. Here, he was just a man pushing a wheelchair, hoping that love alone could heal a child who never smiled. Before the story continues, take a second to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Stories like this rely on your support, and your engagement helps bring more powerful stories to life. Lily was 9 years old. Officially, she had been disabled since she was 6. That was what her mother, Vanessa Reed, had told Daniel when they first met. A tragic accident, a distracted driver, a shattered childhood. Vanessa had spoken calmly, but her eyes had filled with tears at just the right moments. Daniel had believed her without hesitation. Why wouldn't he? Vanessa was his fiancée. Soon she would be his wife, and Lily would be his daughter. Daniel had never pushed too hard for details. He assumed doctors had done what they could. He assumed the wheelchair was necessary. He assumed Lily's sadness was simply grief layered on top of trauma. But that morning something felt different. He couldn't explain it. Maybe it was the way Lily's legs rested so naturally, not stiff or weakened. Maybe it was the way her shoes showed wear at the soles, as if they had been used more than they should have been. "Do you want to stop for a bit?" Daniel asked gently. Lily shook her head, barely perceptible. They reached a bench near the old fountain when a voice cut through the calm like a thrown stone. "She can walk, you know?" Daniel turned sharply. A boy stood a few feet away, thin, clothes worn but clean, dark eyes steady and unafraid. He looked about 10, maybe 11, with scraped knees and the unmistakable confidence of someone who had already learned not to be intimidated by adults. "I'm sorry," Daniel said. The boy nodded toward Lily. "She can walk. Your fiancé won't let her." Daniel laughed reflexively, the sound hollow. "That's not funny." "I'm not joking," the boy replied. "I've seen her. Lots of times." Daniel felt irritation flare. "You shouldn't say things like that. You don't know what you're talking about." The boy stepped closer. "I do. I come here every day. After school. When her mom isn't around, she runs. She laughs. She plays like everyone else." Daniel glanced down at Lily. Her face had gone pale. Her fingers trembled as they tightened around the armrest. She refused to look up. "That's enough," Daniel said firmly. "Go home." The boy didn't move. "She's scared. Not of you. Of her mom." That was when Daniel felt it. Not anger. Not disbelief. Fear. A cold, crawling fear that settled in his chest and refused to leave. "What's your name?" Daniel asked quietly. "Noah," the boy said. "I didn't want to tell, but it's not right. She cries when she thinks nobody hears." Daniel swallowed. "Go," he said again, but his voice lacked conviction now. Noah nodded once, then turned and ran off down the path. The walk home was silent. Daniel didn't push Lily right away. He knelt in front of her instead, bringing himself to her eye level. "Is what he said true?" Daniel asked gently. "You won't be in trouble. I promise." Lily's eyes filled instantly. Tears spilled over, and she shook her head hard, then nodded, then covered her face. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm sorry." Daniel's heart broke in a way no market crash ever could. "Lily, sweetheart, you don't need to be sorry. Just talk to me." She hesitated, glancing around nervously as if expecting her mother to appear at any moment. She said we'd lose everything, Lily said. She said if people knew I could walk, they'd take the money away. She said she'd go to jail. She said it would be my fault. Daniel felt sick. How long? Since Daddy died, Lily sobbed. She said I had to help. I didn't want to lie. I just wanted her to stop crying. Daniel sat back slowly, rage and heartbreak twisting together inside him. Every missed smile, every quiet Sunday, every moment he had accepted without question came crashing down at once. Vanessa had stolen Lily's childhood, and Daniel had unknowingly helped her do it. That afternoon, Daniel made calls he never imagined he would have to make. Lawyers, child protective services, medical professionals. He documented everything Lily told him, every inconsistency he now remembered. The investigators moved quickly, too quickly for Vanessa to control. When Vanessa was confronted, she denied everything at first. Then she blamed the system. Then she blamed Lily. That was the moment Daniel knew there was no saving their relationship. Love did not excuse cruelty. Fear did not excuse abuse. Vanessa was arrested for fraud and child endangerment. Years of false claims unraveled in days. There had never been an accident. No hospital records. No physical damage. Only manipulation, greed, and control. Lily was removed from her care that night. Daniel's sister, Helen, opened her home without hesitation. The first thing Lily did when she arrived was stand up. Slowly, carefully, as if she still feared someone would yell at her to sit down. Nobody did. Within weeks, Lily was running, falling, laughing, crying happy tears when she scraped her knee and realized pain wasn't something to fear. Daniel visited every day. He watched her bloom and carried guilt heavier than any regret he had known. One afternoon, Daniel spotted Noah sitting alone near the basketball court. He approached quietly and sat beside him. "You were brave," Daniel said. "You saved her." Noah shrugged. "Someone had to." Daniel arranged tutoring, mentorship, and a future scholarship fund for Noah. Not as a reward, but as recognition. Courage deserved support. 6 months later, Oak Ridge Greenway looked different. Not because it had changed, but because the people in it had. Lily ran ahead, hair flying, laughing as she chased Noah and Helen's kids across the grass. Daniel watched from a bench, heart full and aching all at once. Vanessa was facing sentencing. Counseling had been ordered, but consequences remained. Some scars did not fade easily. Daniel had begun adoption proceedings. He knew now that wealth was not measured in numbers, but in the courage to protect those who could not protect themselves. Before this story ends, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts below. Your support helps these stories reach the people who need them most. As Lily ran back toward him, arms wide, Daniel stood and caught her, lifting her effortlessly into the air. And for the first time, she laughed without fear. Freedom, he realized, was the greatest gift of all.